Hey everyone, welcome to our third indie development Q&A. In this video, I will be answering your questions, and it's a very relaxed format. I'll have some gameplay in the background. You can listen to this while you work or whatever you do. If you have any questions that you'd like to be answered, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. I hope you enjoy this video. For our first question, Santi Sola asks, do you know if Udemy is good? They have a 90% discount on all courses right now. Santi also asked if I recommend any courses. So I don't want to recommend anything. Instead, I'm going to give you three kind of checkboxes or green lights that you can go through. And if they all work out, I think the course will be worth it. And you can apply this to anything in life, really. But the first thing that I want you to do is when you go onto Udemy, so this is kind of like a mini tutorial here. Go onto Udemy, go in the search bar, whatever engine you're using, Unity, Unreal Engine 4, CryEngine, Construct, GameMaker, type that game engine into the search bar. Once you've typed that in, you'll see a list of videos, of courses, I should say. Click on the courses that look appealing to you, so you like the title of them. After you've clicked on them, first thing you want to do is look up the preview or the introduction. That's going to be a short 1 to 2 minute clip where the instructor is going to show you the project and they're going to talk to you. If they don't show you the project that you're going to make, I recommend perhaps not taking that course because the instructor should have absolute confidence in what they're going to display to you and teach to you. Anyway, the first tick box, in my opinion, is getting excited over the project. So if you look at it and you're like, that's not really what I wanted to make or learn how to make, it's easy. That's a red tick. All three of them have to be greenlit of my points. So close that tutorial off. Then you get to the next one and it's about a topic that you're interested in, like, oh, third-person platforming, awesome. You watch the video, it's got everything you want to learn. Character movement, jumping with animations, collectibles, hazards, basic anime AI. And you're like, oh, this looks great. The quality is good. And I'm excited to learn and make this. Good, you've greenlit the first tick box. The second box is the instructor. So when you watch the introduction video, you have to take notice of their voice. Do you like how it sounds? Do you like the pace? Is it clear enough? Are they explaining things well? And after you watch that initial video, go through the course. You can watch additional videos and see if you like how they're speaking in each video. If you like them, the instructor, that's another tick, which is awesome. So you've got the first box, which is what you'll be developing during the course, and if you want to make that, and that will give you excitement for the course. The second box is the instructor, and that's going to be the person guiding you through and teaching you. So if you like the instructor, it's going to motivate you even more. And the third one is the cost. So how much does it cost, and is it within your budget? Since you said they have a 90% discount right now, it is definitely within, well, hopefully within budget. So yeah, it seems like a win-win. If you can get through all those categories, I think it's going to be great. That is how I would approach it. For the second question, Peter asks me about my motivation to change from Unity to Unreal. I think I have a video on the channel about me switching over. I'm not sure if I explained it then. I made it a long time ago. But so I was talking, when I was a teacher, I was teaching with a friend, Mohammed, and he was a really great programmer. He was way ahead of me at the time. And we were discussing game engines, and he was discussing Unity and Unreal and the differences he sees, but not in terms of a technical level of the engine, a fundamental level, how they were both created, why they were both created, their purposes. And he said something about Unreal that really interested me, and that was that Unreal has been, apart from the fact that it's been in development for longer, I'm not saying that makes it better, but it was made ground up for Epic to develop games. It was made ground up to be a game development engine, and the features they added were for Epic Games to make games such as Unreal Tournament, I should say. So with the Unreal Engine, it's been built and added to by game developers for themselves, for game development. And you see this progression in the 2000s, other game companies taking the engine, adding to it, and then that feeding back into the ecosystem of Unreal. And this has been happening all these years to the point now where the Epic team are still making games with Unreal and adding to it. So all the features from a game such as Fortnite feed back into the engine and make the engine better. If you look at something like when they make Gears of War, things feed back. Whatever they need at the time. So Unreal has a lot of stuff now for a more open world game because of games like PUBG and Fortnite. Back when Unreal started, it had more first-person stuff because they were making a lot of first-person games. Over the years, it's gotten third-person stuff. They're now making Kingdom Hearts 3 in the engine, so it's going to benefit from that development. So that is one of the core reasons I had to switch to Unreal, because from that perspective, from that logic, Unreal is an engine which has been developed and added to, and it's been going through this constant loop of iteration and improvement by game developers. And when I look at Unity, a great engine by the way, it does not have that same treatment, and it doesn't feel built from the ground up for game developers. The systems in Unreal feel very different. And this is not a versus conversation, by the way. I'm not discussing that, and I'm not a fanboy of any engine. I'm just saying fundamentally, they have developed very differently. And that is the reason I like to use Unreal, because when I use Unreal, the tools, the updates, it's just so exciting as well. Like when I watch all of the videos on the Unreal channel. So when they discuss Fortnite and they discuss things that they had to put into the engine, it makes me excited. Especially VR, right? I'm developing virtual reality. When I watch them discuss Robo Recall and how they had to develop all of the systems in Robo Recall and the new Ford renderer, and they put that into the base engine, like that's so exciting. They're leading by example. Actually, that's a really good way to summarize it. I feel like Unreal are leading by example, and they are pushing forward and innovating with their engine. And that makes it exciting to use. For me as a game developer, it's inspiring because I feel like every week there's a video or a piece of content or an update, and it's because they're leading the charge forward. And they also have a really good community around them where even community members are adding to the engine. And of course, other AAA developers are feeding back into this loop of iteration. So improvements that may come to the engine from developers in Japan working on Kingdom Hearts 3, they might include that in an Unreal update. It's stuff like this that makes me excited to use Unreal. And it's the whole idea of Epic kind of leading by example. And I really love that. And yeah, I do not care what engine anyone uses. This is my reason. So, there's probably going to be some silly comment of someone saying, but Matt, and they're going to have 20 dot points about why Unity is better than Unreal. But the thing is, it's just the engine I choose and I'm happy using it. So use what engine you like. But this question specifically was about me and why I switched. And that's the core reason that I switched, the fundamental reason. The next question is from Nix CM. And this is a very long paragraph of a question. I'm not going to go through it all, but basically it's about them wanting to use YouTube as a motivational tool and promote their game development. So share the game development. I'm not reading the whole thing because this is to me what overthinking looks like. And I'm not trying to rip on anyone. I just want to illustrate that when I read this, it's exactly what happens, especially it's happened to me so many times when you're going to start something. There's too many barriers in the way instantly because you start thinking about everything. And this to me is a perfect example of overthinking it. And my simple solution to this is that your goal is to make a YouTube channel to motivate people and promote your game dev. And that's awesome. The very simple answer to all of your questions is your YouTube channel. Well, what I try to do anyway, if you want to see, I really don't understand why people write that my videos are inspirational or motivational, because I never really make them for that purpose. I've never tried to have quotes that are like inspirational, like, you watch those YouTube motivational videos where they have the music in the background and specific quotes. So it's a mystery to me. I don't know how you can make a motivational YouTube channel, but the one thing I do know is that if you provide value to people, then that is the ultimate thing. So when I make a video like this, I'm trying to provide value through my answers. When I make a Let's Create, I'm trying to provide value through hopefully teaching something. When I make a indie game devlog, I'm trying to provide value by hopefully maybe motivating or sparking some kind of inspiration to make your own thing. So every video I make, I try to justify it by its existence by tying value to it. So if a video I make, I don't feel like it has value, I don't develop it. And it makes it really hard to make videos that way because I can't really make it's hard, like, if you want to use other people as an example, you might see some kind of clickbaity videos. You can't really do that when you try to tie value to things. Like, I can't make a video titled Unity versus Unreal because what value is that going to provide? Deep down, everyone already knows what they want to do and what they want to use. So I think the best way to use YouTube as a motivational tool, if you want to consider it that, have videos that provide value in different ways. So your devlogs, think about them as you're sharing your work with people, and hopefully that inspires others to work. I hope that when someone watches one of my videos, like a devlog, or say the Game Jam devlog, and they want to enter a game jam and they watch my videos, they go, oh, cool, I want to enter a game jam now because it looks like Matt learnt a lot and I might learn a lot. Like, I don't know, it's a very simple way of thinking, I know, but that's the way I think of it. And I don't think you should necessarily think of it as promoting your game or like, raking in money. If each video provides value, you will naturally be promoting yourself. You will naturally grow. So think about what value you're adding to game development, especially on like the YouTube landscape. If you feel like you're providing value, you'll also be happier and more motivated. Trying to do a video where you're just doing it for views is very demoralizing. The final question is from Ronald, and Ronald wants to know, how do you get so familiar with using nodes and blueprints that you don't have to refer to tutorials? I think the solution to this is going to be a bit different than you think. I think it's a fundamental problem with how you and many people may be learning a game engine and learning in general. So I find, well, especially when I was teaching professionally, I found that the students who struggled with writing C# and in Unity were referring to tutorials too much. So here's how it goes. The semester begins. They're really, like, the first month and a bit, they're top of the class, right? Because they're following tutorials. Everyone else is struggling. So they're following tutorials and that's all they do. And they're doing code just like the tutorials and just like in class. The other students are struggling and fighting because they're following me in class, but they're also trying to do it by themselves. And when they get home, they create their own solutions for things. So you have one hand who are just following everything I do and everything YouTube tutorials do. And they seem to be more advanced than the other students at the start, right? It's like, oh, hey, I made a third-person shooter in like my first month of learning. What have you guys done? But really all they've done is taken the code from a YouTube video. And there's this thing we call Mount Stupid. I'll put it on the screen now. It's basically like this kind of graph you go through when you're learning things. Like, you start off and you don't know anything, and then you gradually begin to learn things and you think you know everything. Then you fall off the top of the mountain and then you realize that you actually don't know anything. And then you go on the path, I think it's called the path of enlightenment, and it's like you think you know nothing, but you actually know like so much. And that's the point where it's like you just understand that learning is forever, and that it doesn't matter how good you are or how bad you are. You're just on a journey to learn whatever you're learning, right? So a lot of students, they start off and they're just following tutorials. Now, these students, on the other hand, who are struggling and learning, in the first month to 2 months, they don't look like they're going to be that great. But what happens is the students who actually figure out their own solutions rather than following tutorials, they become way better at using the systems, and they don't have to refer to APIs as much or refer to tutorials to do basic things. The reason is that they actually understand how to create solutions on paper and then apply that to a programming language. And that is the ultimate way to program, in my opinion, because if you can come up with your own solutions, no matter what programming language you use, it's all different syntax. So someone like me, I can use anything. I can go ahead and use C++, I can go back to C#, I can use JavaScript, any language I need to use for a job. And that's because of a fundamental, just knowing the fundamentals of how things work and actually being a problem solver. So I think the problem here is not that you need to memorize stuff. I think you need to begin problem solving. Don't just go onto YouTube and follow people's solutions. Use them. It's a great reference and it's a great way to start learning, but at some point you need to start creating your own solutions. And the best way to do this is to simply write it down on paper and convert it into a programming language. So say you want to make a gun shoot, you write in very plain English, press a button, so input. Okay, so you press a button, left click, press left mouse button. Okay, you write that down. And then you write down bullet spawns. Awesome. Okay. And then what happens? The bullet moves forward, and then that's it. It moves forward. So you take this simple thing you wrote, these few steps you wrote, and you go, okay, how do I get a button input in C#? Or how do I get a button input in Blueprints? Or how do I get a button input in Java? Whatever it is. And you go, oh, okay, that's how I code it. Good. Okay, what was my next step? Oh, I have to spawn the bullet. How do I spawn a bullet in Unity? Oh, okay, this is the code to spawn a prefab. Awesome. In Blueprints, oh, this is the node to spawn an actor. Awesome. Java, this is how you spawn whatever. You just keep on going. You go to the third step. Okay, I'm in Unity. Okay, how do I make this move? Oh, I can add force to it. Awesome, I can actually add force to it, treat it as a physics object. It moves forward now. It's got physics. It's got a rigid body on it. Unreal. Oh, I have a projectile component class. I'm going to use that and modify it to my needs. See, that's a very basic example, but that's literally how you go from your beginning stages to making an inventory. If you're going to make a complex inventory, you write down each step in plain English and you convert it into code. All programming is problem solving. The better problem solver you are, the better programmer you'll be. It doesn't matter what language you use. So this is my ultimate solution to people who are struggling and feel like they cannot remember any nodes. If you watch my Let's Creates, I'm not sure how I refer to it, but I'm pretty sure in some of them, I use what's called a branch. And a branch is basically an if statement. It's a condition check. I feel like in some of my Let's Creates, I will say, okay, we need to check for a condition. That's because I don't need to know what a branch, I need to know what a branch is, but I don't need to memorize it because I can go on Google and type in how to check a condition or how to check an if or how to check a Boolean. And because I have that fundamental knowledge, I get the node and I instantly know how to use it because I just understand it. It's the same thing as a loop. You understand a loop, you can apply it. So you really need to know the fundamentals of how everything works. And most importantly, to get there, you need to write your own solutions down on paper, sit in Unreal and go, okay, I need to spawn something. And then you go in Blueprints and you can't find it. So you Google, how do I spawn an object in Unreal? And it says spawn actor. Now you're going to associate spawn actor with spawning stuff because you went through the work of figuring it out rather than someone on YouTube saying, hey everyone, click spawn actor. That's kind of how it works. In my opinion, this is how I learned. I hope that's kind of useful. Thanks for watching everyone. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to watch videos like this, subscribe for similar content. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them below, and I will see you all in the next video.